Hi, my name is Scott Bloyer, and I'm here to talk with men about some of the things that I believe we struggle with the most. And as we get into that, I just want to let you know about more of who I am. So, I've been married for 27 years to the same woman. I have 3 adult children. I have been involved in high school sports as a coach, both with male athletes and female athletes. And I work in a church in the middle of Aurora, Colorado. But I want you to understand I have a passion to see men become all they possibly can be. And I want to help them be able to weed out some of the crap that has been either spoken towards us, spoken over us, or just shouted at us when it comes to being the men in today's society. One of those areas is about being good at relationships. Now, I'm not talking about relationships just with the opposite sex, but I'm talking about relationships with other men that enable us to do better at who we are. I'm talking about friends, getting to know friends more than just knowing the football team that they support the most or the soccer team that they support the most. I don't know how many times I've been at different places, parties, events, and with my wife, and we're having conversations, and we get back in the car and we get ready to leave, and I'm like, so what did you think and who did you meet? And she starts telling me all about these different things that these different women have shared with them. And then she looks at me and she goes, so what do you know? I'm like, well, I know he does construction and he follows the Raiders. Really kind of superficial stuff when it comes to relationships. It's like when we're working with people, we just know what job they do or what position they fill, but we don't really find out more about who they are. Or as a parent, maybe you're a parent and you're a parent like me and you go, how many kids are in the house? And who are they and what do they do? See, whatever it is, I believe that one of the reasons many men today are hurting, and I do believe the word hurting is appropriate, is because we don't give time to relationships. I think it's because we've never been taught, we've never been led, we've never had it modeled for us that relationships matter. And if we want those relationships to matter, we've got to give time to them. Let me give you some stats just on how bad men are hurting. See, they adjusted the suicide rate in 2017, and it's 14 per 100,000 individuals. The rate of suicide is the highest in middle-aged white men, in particular when it came to 2017. In 2017, men died by suicide almost 4 times more often than women. On an average, there are 129 suicides per day, and out of that, 70% of those suicide deaths in 2017 were men. See, the problem is that once there's an issue that we're dealing with, maybe a place that we're struggling, maybe it's even a place of struggle that we don't want people to know that we have no one to go to. That there are things that we're struggling with as men that we don't feel comfortable sharing with our wives, or we don't feel comfortable sharing with family members or whoever's involved in our life. And so we have nowhere to go. And we just struggle. And we hold on to those things. See, we need to understand time for relationship matters if you want relationships to matter. The issue that I see is that we don't give the time needed for the relationships to help us when the crap hits the fan. We just don't know how to go to. And then when the crap does hit the fan, we're stuck. Or at least we feel like we're stuck, or we feel like we have nowhere else to go, or no one to talk to, or no place to feel safe to share those struggles, those hurts, those problems with when it comes to being a man in this world today. I've realized that many of us get to that place because we haven't invested time in relationships. In relationships with guys that we can feel safe and comfortable with, or we can just know that they're going to challenge us on our crap and the things that's going on in our life. So here's my challenge to you. My challenge to you is invest in the relationships that matter. Invest in the relationships of guys that you know that you can call at 2 o'clock in the morning when you've just received the most horrible news in your life. If you can't answer that question, then you're not investing in relationships. You're not finding those people that you can do life with when life gets hard. See, I believe that we need to find quality time with those people. We need to do a daily check-in, a weekly check-in with them. Maybe it's just a text message. Maybe it's just an email, whatever. How you doing? How can I be praying for you? What's going on in your life? Whatever it is that fits your relationship with that individual. And then meet once a month. Danielle Strickland, who was with the Salvation Army, I met her through Global Leadership Network, has been working with a group of great leaders, and they started an initiative called Infinitum. And Infinitum is a great way for you to develop relationships. They've got some resources, they've got some things that you can use when it comes to really digging in deep and being able to have quality time and being able to develop those relationships that matter. I'll make sure that the website is in the notes so that if you want to go there, you can get their resource. They've got what are called hub questions that you can use when it comes to talking with each other. Because let's be honest, if we're totally honest, sometimes we just don't know what to talk about. We're insecure. We're maybe even ashamed of not knowing what to talk about. So I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you to take the time to develop relationships that matter. Take the time to plan and prepare for the meetings that you're going to have with different guys in different places. Maybe it's a coffee shop. Maybe it's at your local brewery. Maybe it's at church with a group of guys. I don't know. But plan and prepare for those conversations. Find out now the people that you can trust. Find out the opportunities that you have to meet with other guys so that when you get the bad news, or when you're struggling, or when you're hurting, or when you're feeling all alone and not sure what to do, you've got someone to call. My name's Scott Bloyer, and I am so glad that you took some time to be with me today and to listen to this. Have a great week, and I want you to know that you are more than you think you are, and you can accomplish more than anyone else says you can't. And I believe that we can crash through some of the barriers of life together.